Alright guys, 99 Mercedes C230. We keep getting the brake light. The sensor is touching. Brake pad is nearly all the way down to the pad, as you can see in there. So we're gonna remove this. My parts are wrong, so I gotta remove this just to show the parts guy which parts I need, because he keeps sending me wrong parts. So let's see, hopefully we'll be able to get the parts. Should be able to get the parts. So anyways, first of all, this sensor comes out pretty easy. So we're gonna take a look at this sensor if it took any beating in there. So what I want to do is I want to remove the two bolts back over here on this caliper. They're 13 millimeter, and then we're gonna try to compress the piston, because this brake pads are nearly down to nothing, but the opposite side, they still got a life on it, but we got to change them together. Anyways, this could be due to all the corrosion here. So, and I could hear a scrape. I could feel a scrape in the back of this rotor. So let's remove this and let's get this job going. Okay, so from the back here, I'm gonna use my power tool. So all you need is, this is not even 13, it might be a 14. So let me get the proper size. So 14 millimeter it is. And it doesn't want to budge. Probably was 13 and it's all corroded. So we got a 13 millimeter here. And this baby will come out. Just don't hurt yourself, because if it spins here, if you try to hold it, it can rip the glove box and hurt you. But anyways, I'm gonna get the one in the bottom also. I don't even need to look. I can just feel and touch. And I know exactly where it's at. And then eventually, I'm gonna have to look. So, right from down here, there you go, 14, 13 millimeter. We should be able to take out this caliper. Be careful with this sensor line. So make sure I moved it from back over here. So we're gonna take this caliper out. We're gonna compress this baby. And first we'll look at the condition of this pad here. So there you go. He was getting this light in the dash. It was coming on and off. It was due to this sensor. You see this sensor took a beating right there. So once it grounds itself, it cuts and splices. The light will come on. The brake light in the screen is like a circle light. That's what it was. So we're gonna put in a new sensor. Anyways, I'm gonna hold this caliper because all the lines, I'm gonna just let it sit right there. So let's compress the caliper. And I just want to make sure the caliper is good, because the brakes are down to nothing, and then we'll take off the bracket. Anyways, let me go get my clamp. So I got my clamp tool here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna manage to put this baby right in the middle here. There's barely any clearance here. So we'll just try to get it in an angle. So what I want to do is I want to put the pad here, and I'm going to use my clamp tool here to go in between the two. And if this fits, very good. So if this piston doesn't go in properly, it's a bad caliper. Let's see how it goes in. Sometimes it could be just brakes from this rust that have been eaten out. So this goes in really smooth. So this is good. Perfect. Okay, so I got this baby in. Next, we're gonna remove the bracket. First, let me call up new brake pads and sensors. So there you have it. Caliper's good. Sometimes you gotta check your slider pins. So these are pretty good. They're moving, both of them. So you see this? This is moving. We'll lubricate all of these, and we'll clean the whole hub up and put a new rotor and new brake pads. Okay, now we're gonna remove this bracket here, and then we'll clean this up with the wire brush. We'll clean the hub up. We got new brake pads coming in. I'm gonna show you all the parts. So back here you got two bolts. They're 18 millimeters. So this is one, and then you got one up here. Pretty tight. There you go. I'm gonna get both of these off and then we'll continue. Okay, see. It's pretty loose if I wiggle this around. You see the top one? Top one is kind of stiff. There you go, it's coming out. This is one. And this is number two. The bracket comes out, so those are the two bolts. We're gonna clean this area up. And the rotor, sometimes you'll have a bolt here on some of these Mercedes, but bang it out if you need to. But look at that, the hub looks pretty good down below. We're gonna get wire brush, we're gonna clean this whole area up, and then we're gonna put a little bit of lubrication. So what I wanna do is, I wanna brush this whole area up because your rotor has to sit nice and good. And it's got to be on a clean surface, or if it sits crooked, your whole brake system will be crooked. So there you go. I'm gonna get some cleaner and blow some air on this. So first I'm gonna take all the dirt and debris out of here. Then I get some cleaner, parts cleaner, something like this, brake cleaner. Okay, and what you want to do is just spray this on. And after that, there you go, some more air. And you do have an ABS reflector wheel in the back. Sometimes your rust will get in there. It will cause trouble. So you see, I can hear some noise. Something's back there. So let's see if I can clean it up. And I'm gonna see what that is, because that's the noise I was hearing before too. So it might be just like a leaf or something stuck back there. So I'll check that out, but you do want to check all the rust and everything behind this. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. See that little guy? That's the reflector wheel right there. ABS sensor reads that. Okay, there you have it. So what I want to do is, I want to get my wire brush one more time. Okay, so I want to clean the surface here. This is where the brake pad sits. So this has got to be clean. And there's my slider pin that fell on the ground. So buff that down a bit, throw some cleaner, that should be good. And what we're gonna do is, both of my slider pins just fell out of this, so I'm gonna get a cleaner, a rag, and clean them up. So what I want to do is, I just want to put this right here so we can work on it. And I want to clean this guy off. And also, they're the same slider pins, so no difference here. If you got a rubber boot on one of them, you got to know where that goes. So what I want to do is get some greasing for these guys. I'm going to put some silicone grease on this, and then we'll grease up the rest of the stuff. So let me get the grease. So this is silicone grease. I got a video just on this stuff, so that should be more than enough grease there for both of the pins. So I'm going to just take it off the other pin. And you don't need a lot of greasing on this, because too much grease is going to cause trouble too. Just enough, and the grease is not going to go anywhere over time. It's not like it's going to burn out or anything like that. So that goes there, and this goes there. So this is ready. So we do need to put grease right here. So once we get the pad, we'll put greasing there. So I'm going to get another set of grease now. This is the dark colored CRC, a brake synthetic, a high temperature grease. What I like to do is, I like to put this on the hub here, and this is going to protect the rotor and the hub from corrosion, and it's going to give a nice and smooth surface for everything to sit nice and easy. Anyways, time for us to get the rotor. All right, so I got some rotors here. They say Holly Pack rotors. So here's the box that I took them out. So this is the stuff here, good stuff, and it's not too expensive. It's not cheap either, but it's about the same price as if you want to get the cheaper rotors. So there's a part number on that, 8DD 355102252. That's the part number. So what you want to do here is you want to line these bolts, and what I like to do is I like to take one of the studs for the lug nut, and I like to put that on. It's not going to go all the way, but it'll at least hold a little bit in place, and after that it shouldn't go anywhere, and that can stay there. So I used a bolt and a washer in between to hold this in place, and that can stay there. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna take this bracket, I'm gonna put this bracket on, and the two bolts I showed you guys that we took off earlier, now they gotta go back on. Doesn't matter which bolt, they're both the same thing, top, bottom, doesn't matter. So the key here is lubrication and cleaning, okay? Make sure you do all that and everything should be smooth. Okay, so this is gonna go on, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna lock this baby up, and then we'll wait. I'm waiting for the pads because they gave me the wrong pads. But very simple and easy. This bolt gets tight. Make sure you catch the threads first. And here goes nothing with the second bolt. Make sure you tighten them really well. And once the job is completed and you got the wheels and everything is on, everything is finished, you want to pump the brake pedal several times because it's going to be soft and the piston's going to retract back. Just make sure you don't leave nothing loose. And this is tight, and now you're just going to wait for it. And the process is the same on the opposite side, but we are done here. Okay, so let's wait for the pads. Okay, so I'm using Wagner brakes. I did not want to use Wagner brakes, but there you go. That's the part number. You're gonna have 4 brake pads like this. They're all the same thing. You can put them in anywhere you like. Doesn't matter. What I want to do now is I want to take a little bit of same grease that I'll be putting in the hub. I want to put a little bit here, not crazy amount. Little bit here. Same thing on the inside. Try not to get any grease on the rotor. And gonna take a little bit more. I'm gonna put it on right here. This is the contact that's gonna make with the bracket. So put a little bit on each corner, and that's it. I'm gonna go clean my hands off, but let's put this pad on. 1 pad and 2 pad. There you go. I'm gonna go wipe my hands off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. We're gonna take a little bit more grease. I like to put on the outer edge here of this brake pad. You're gonna do the same thing, but on the inner pad, on the outer edge of the inner brake pad. And if you wanna go a little bit further, take a little bit more grease. Put some on this piston edge and the seal. A lot of people say it picks up dust, but greasing is the way. If you slack on greasing, you're gonna have a problem. Do 2 nuts. I got 2 nuts that comes with the brake pad. Okay, let me see if I can get this on first. So it's gonna come in the inside the brake pad. You're gonna have, if it comes with it, 2 new nuts. So dispose the older ones because they get rusted over time. So it has a lock thread on it, so that's a good thing. Okay, so do this job as best as possible. Greasing is the key here. Main key here is greasing. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna catch the threads, and once I catch the threads, I'm gonna lock them up. So I'll go get my tool. There goes nothing. Nice and tight. Same thing in the bottom bolt. Bada bing, bada boom. And all we need to do here is make sure you do both sides. So brake sensor, Bacardi, part number 0841086. Inside this box, you're gonna get this little sensor, which is gonna go, I'm gonna show you the old brake pad. So you see how it's routed like that, same direction, okay? You're gonna get it like that. So if you wanna put a little bit of lubrication on this, it's all up to you. So I'm gonna take a tiny bit of lubrication so it can stick in there. And then what I'm gonna do here is, I can't see because the camera's on the way. I'm gonna try to go down here. So there's a small little hole there. You'll see a hole right there, right at the edge of the brake pad, on the brake material itself, not on the backing plate. So this thing will stick right in, and that's it. And it's a 1-pin connector. Make sure you get this thing, and you can feel this thing went in. And try to bend this a little bit like that so the rim doesn't hit it. Because a lot of time I've seen where people leave these hanging like that and the rim hits it. And that's it. It's all done and set. And make sure your brake line is nice and straight. It's not twisted and curled up. And I'm going to strap tie this little guy over here somewhere. And that should take care of there. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching my video. After this, make sure you pump your brake pedal. And you're good to go after that. Thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next video.